Okay. Okay, I'm going to start the music. Okay, I'm going to start the music. Okay, thank you very much. All right.
Oh my God.
How dare you?
Oh my God.
Is it running now? Yeah. Hi, everybody. This is the Godfather Soul James Brown. I tell you, this business is on. My man is on. Check him out. This is the Godfather Soul James Brown saying stay with it and hit it.
Okay, thank you very much.
As always, that's some awesome advice from back from the dead, the late and great James Brown, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, oh man, what a day, man. What a day. Well, for all you guys that had problems with your computers ever just being too slow or sluggish, that was my day at the office where I just had a sluggish computer.
Gotta love those pieces of technology. Top of the morning, top of the afternoon, top of the evening, top of the time zone, wherever you may be watching us on InnervisionFM.com. You're listening to Johnnie J and Alan C. Deep in occupied northern Colorado territory now. I've affected the move. And also Johnny is in the high rise of downtown Denver metropolis.
Yes, where if you want to rob my house, you have to be awfully brave to climb through my window.
Absolutely right.
Oh man, you know, we watched those police stories, and it was a story about this guy who would, no, it was a woman. She would invade the house and kill the whole family. Right? Wow. It's like, wow. It's like, and my wife says, wow, it's dangerous living in a private house. I said, I guess it can be.
I guess so. A little too much of that Y chromosome going on, man.
But we love those stories, man, like figuring out who's a criminal and why the criminal is doing whatever it is that they're doing. But,
absolutely right.
But you know what? This guy, it was one part of the story. He said that he studied the brain and he found that this part of the brain was missing a certain connection. And he said that it was like out of the 10 brains he studied, he could pick out the 5 that were serial killers. So I wonder, even if you're getting 6 figures, could you be a serial menace to society?
Well, everybody does love Lucky Charms. I was going to say Chucky Charms. That's the kind of play on words right there. Everybody does love some Lucky Charms once in a while, and cereal is an awesome thing to have. And
oh man, I tell you, yeah. And so we have like 4 stories, and should we start off with the good news first? Something happened in Shreveport, Louisiana.
Yeah, we can start off with some good news out in Shreveport, where the non-gender specific individuals are actually pretty gender specific, and they happen to be those of the manly man. And what are they doing, Johnny? I guess with their hall monitors. What's going on with that?
Well, what's going on is in the school, it was just a lot of fighting going on. People just getting upset and fighting and just doing. Police at one point had to be called and arrest, these teenage kids for all this fighting. And somehow the fathers in this community said, hey, we could do something about this, and we could each take turns being a hall monitor and just show that fatherly support. And if someone wants to get out of line, we'll give them that look.
Give them the look.
Yeah,
the look that even blind people can discern. I'll tell you what, back in the day, I used to, my dad was a biker, one of those, not one of the weekend warriors, but the real deal. And so he would be able to give us the look. And boy, I could tell that look, even though I couldn't see it.
Yeah.
It's quite interesting. So it's not for folks that just want to kind of go in and sort of volunteer to sort of help out, but not really help out, just kind of maybe be there as a presence and kind of look the other way if bad things happen. We're talking about folks that really get involved with their children's education and allow for good role modeling to take place. And that look would indeed be employed. I guess it's really a situation where it's helped out quite a bit. Yeah.
Oh yeah. And so, like in an era where Tay Anderson has got like the police out of the school as school monitors. He successfully got that out in Denver, Colorado public schools, and other parents or other left-wing school board members are getting the police monitors out of the schools. Let's replace them. Don't just take away something without replacing it with something.
And that's absolutely right, because it causes a vacuum when that happens.
Yeah, and this, and I don't know how many dads out there can sacrifice, like take one day, and do this, and then get about 6, maybe 10 dads, where you can rotate in a month, taking one day off, let your boss know, hey, I'm taking a sick day or whatever, and this is what I'm doing, and do this. I think it's a great idea. I never even thought about that, because I was sort of like thinking like this earlier. I didn't tell you about. I was talking to my wife about all these guys out here that are, they walk away from a family or the children or something like that, and they say, well, okay, I got her pregnant. What does that have to do with me? So you have 62 million abortions because of it. And then you have kids that grew up without a father because the guy just walks away. And so these are the guys that say, hey, I'm gonna stick in there, and plus I'm gonna not only help my child, but I'm gonna be a part of helping your child, because I was kind of telling my daughter this, like sometimes it takes a village to raise a child.
That's funny, because Hillary Clinton was quoted as saying that it does indeed sometimes take a village to raise a child. Really made a lot of folks, especially on the conservative side, kind of angry. But on the other hand, when you dive in deeper and sort of unpack that a little bit, it can have some merit when you say, well, it does take a village to raise a child. You've got your churches, you've got your clergy members, you've got your folks that know your kids down at the stores where you frequent. You've got the banks that know you when you come in to pick up your to make a withdrawal or to go ahead and make a deposit, whatever that is. And so it sometimes can indeed take a village to raise a child, and a good working community which works together for the good of everybody, but not this fake good for everybody, but this real, honest to goodness good for everybody, to where all ships rise upon that tide of success. That's where, in my opinion, that's where this should really take off. Now, my children are grown, at least for the most part. My youngest one's still in school, but I would love to pose that to folks out there listening right now. Hit us up at info at innervisionfm.com or 720-324-7278 and drop us a little message. What would you do if you were posed with the opportunity to go ahead and make a difference in your children's lives and or your neighbors' children's lives by just signing up a day or two a week to become a hall monitor?
Yeah, and it was so funny. I think back on the story about the guy that I knew when I was 17, and he wanted to integrate his church and put some diversity in his church, and he saw me going to church one day. I think it was one time with I had a friend that went to church there who was totally blind, and he befriended me, and we set out on this mission. And I don't know, it was very much talk about it. We just said, hey, this is something that's lacking in his church. And he said, hey, would you participate for a summer? And I said, okay, why not? But it was the hottest church. I mean, you ever had those it was before the air conditioning. You see this hot old church is like, but I sacrificed.
Absolutely. So what sort of experience did that leave you with, Johnny, when you were helping out and serving in the church?
Well, it was kind of interesting because I've always been like either the only blind person in the church or like the only one. And so you sort of like you get used to being the ambassador,
So that's why I brought that up, because I find a similar thing happening there, where indeed, like it or not, as a blind person, we are ambassadors to the entire blind community. So we always have to play nice. We always have to make sure that all of our ducks are in a row, that we not only look and smell pretty, but we also act pretty. I remember one time I was doing some painting in the church, and I'm not proud of this, Johnny, but I got to tell you this story. I was doing some painting with folks in the church, and I turned around and I stepped right into a paint pan. Wow. And that whole paint pan covered me from head to toe.
Wow.
And I said at the top of my lungs, I said, dog vomit. Now, of course, it wasn't dog vomit that I said, but this being a family show, I will tell you this, it quieted everything right down to hear somebody screaming the Lord's name in vain in a hallowed place like the church. I'm not proud of that, Johnny, but I will tell you that that wasn't one of the best possible ambassadorial moments to the blind community.
I often wonder, like I always tell my kids, I taught them never move. If I put something down, never move it. But it's hard to teach wives and probably husbands that too. Like if a blind person puts something down somewhere, they want to come back and find it there. It's not that they put it there and they say, oh, I can just look around and find it afterwards. And I think that's the hardest thing to learn. It makes you want to say, when are you going to learn to stop moving my stuff? It's like, oh man. So that's just another one of those pet peeves. Oh, tonight, yesterday we got we got another person joining the subscribers. So we asked you to do a thumbs up, hit the like button, do a thumbs up, and we welcome that 30th person, and I'm not sure. It seemed like it's a person from another country, so maybe they speak English and Switzerland as well. So there's another person from Switzerland.
In any case, welcome to the family. This is a very inclusive type of show. We try to cover a lot of topics, and we got a packed show for you tonight. We've got Steven Johnson syndrome. Johnny will tell a little bit about that. And got a question about your pet. And we got a question dealing with the Fau-ci Ouchy, as it's sometimes dubbed.
There you go.
And so where do you want to go from here?
Let's see. Before we hit and don't forget about the 13 soldiers that we left behind, where fight and lie and say that we don't leave any behind, and we're such this great image. Not when the dims are in there, and the 7 children that he had killed by the drone when the Taliban gave them fake information and killed them, and so they said they're going to bring them, pay them money and bring them to America. But I don't know, can money really cover up the fact that 7 kids were unnecessarily killed? But that maybe that's the democratic way of doing things.
Well, not only that, I mean, there were 3 aid workers as well, so they were involved in the community, the act of a village raising those 7 kids, so to speak. So, it's very important that we not forget about those 7 children that were taken out by a drone strike perpetrated by our illustrious federal government, as well as those 3 aid workers as well.
Yeah. Now let's, speaking of children, I guess the medical center has rushed to get this the jab out and to now give it to the 11 to 5-year-olds.
Yeah, 5 to 11. And
yeah,
they're in their own special class. For now, if you're 5 to 11, all you need is 1 little dose and you're good to go, apparently. Of course, we all remember what happened with the original vacation package. All we needed was 1 dose anyway, if we got the J&J dose. Now, not only do you have to get another one, you can mix and match, which is quite fascinating. Not at all.
And I know they haven't had enough studies to see what happens with that.
Absolutely. That's absolutely right, folks. Interestingly enough, they did some clinical trials, clinical studies, wherein it has been shown to contain allegedly fetal cells, at least in the testing phase in the trials of the vacation package. And now, from what I understand, Mr. Fau-ci is on day 3 of day 5, wherein basically he was given a certain length of time to respond to whether or not efficacy testing was done on animals. And if so, how was that kind of covered up? Did you rip out the dog's vocal cords? What did you do to make sure that nobody really found out that you were using little puppies?
Did you sew dead fetuses' heads on mouses? It's just
yeah.
It sounds like back in the what's it, Hitler days, when the scientists were doing all kinds of weird things to people, and with the blessing of the High Hitler regime.
Absolutely. We are stepping into Nuremberg 2.0 more quickly than what it appears you can shake a stick at, ladies and gentlemen. And, the bottom line is whether or not one wants to take this issue head on for fear of some alphabet agency putting you on a list somewhere, it does come around full circle to, are you, Alan Colvin, okay with this going on? I mean, when you go to sleep, Alan Colvin, at night, are you okay going to sleep knowing that these things are taking place? Where dogs, cats, whatever, mice, dead babies, skulls being allegedly sewn onto other carcasses. I mean, are you okay with that, Alan Colvin? Well, no, I can't say as I am.
And sometimes I feel like people love their dogs more than I've seen, more than people. Because I see we those little baby carriages.
Right.
We go walking and we see women. I don't know about guys, but mostly women with their dogs in the carriage. And you think, oh, there's gonna be a cute little baby there, and there's a dog being pushed around.
My old roommate told me that she just picked up one of them little baby strollers, and the other day she got the look, so to speak, from some other ladies because she had her old little Chihuahua in there. And they looked down to see what baby was in the stroller, and by golly, it was just this little Chihuahua. And I guess my old roommate got the look. Shout out to Kimmy. How you doing, Kimmy? But yeah, that's pretty hilarious, man.
Remember the Flintstones? There was one part where he had some new glasses on, and somehow a monkey got into the baby cart, and women they were sitting there, said, "Oh, what an ugly baby!" And Fred said, "How dare you?" And he couldn't see that it was not Tabitha; it was a monkey. And I'm not sure what happened. Oh, Wilma found the baby, but I don't remember exactly how it got switched from the monkey to the baby. I think they went to the zoo or something like that. But that reminds me of that cartoon, the Flintstones, an old cartoon. So let's see who is calling. I'm gonna see if who is calling here. Hey, what's up, Justin? Hey, let's play a commercial, and we'll be right back here.
We'll be right back with you folks.
Oh, hold on a sec. Okay.
Christian Brothers Moving Company takes care of you by taking care of your family's moving needs. Give them a call, 303-526-2630, and tell them that you heard about them on Innervision. Get the best moving experience you've ever had with Christian Brothers Moving Company, 303-526-2630. That's 303-526-2630. Christian Brothers is a proud underwriter of Innervision. Call them now, 303-526-2630. Isn't it fun to sing along to the radio? If you could help someone else have that same experience and take it to the next level, maybe you would consider donating an old car, RV, truck, or boat. You know, for over 15 years, Innervision has been helping the physically challenged and grassroots artists to create their music. Using music to heal the world is Innervision's gift to you, and you can help them to continue by donating your unwanted car, RV, truck, or boat. You'll also receive a tax deduction at the end of the year. Call us 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, 1-855-500-7433. That's 1-855-500-7433. Charity ID 4015. Your unwanted car, RV, truck, or boat is tax deductible, and it can make a difference right here in Colorado. The artists at Innervision thank you for your support. Make that call toll free using Innervision's charity ID 4015. Again, the phone number 1-855-500-7433.
And ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining. You can help us, hit us up at and that will go to helping up and coming recording artists, DJs, and others to achieve their goal of taking their talent to the streets, as it were, and or to the internet, and all over the place, ladies and gentlemen. So hit us up at paypal.me/Innervision Denver. And if you've got a topic that you want to have featured on InnervisionFM.com, hit us up at info@InnervisionFM.com. That's our email address. Once again, that's info@InnervisionFM.com.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Okay, I'm back. I was just talking to one of our grant writers there. We submitted a grant for our program. And ladies and gentlemen, we could really use your financial help. And you could do like either donating your car, RV, boat, or you can send us a direct donation, PayPal.me.Innervision Denver. That's
paypal.me/Innervision Denver.
Yes. All right. Now, so we're still like covering like the children getting the jab, and I can relate to this because when I was 6 years old, I had some kind of breathing spell or season where they took me to the hospital and they ended up giving me a medication that I was allergic to. Now they gave me the spinal tap and all that kind of stuff, And then it literally burnt me from the inside out. I was one of the 30% that lived after this happened to them. It was something called Stephen Johnson syndrome that it caused, where it actually just destroys your mucous membrane of your skin, and you have to eat Jello, ice cream, stuff like that to keep your esophagus open, because otherwise it'll be scarred up.
Otherwise, it just dries out. Holy smoke!
So, and then we left that hospital. It was Denver General Hospital on Caldwell Boulevard, 9th and Caldwell Boulevard, which now it moved out to Aurora, and we sued. And what happened? The lawyers just said, "Well, you guys signed the papers."
Yeah,
And
that's a very interesting point that you make, that they pretty much wrote it off, said, well, you guys signed the papers.
Yeah. So ladies and gentlemen, how do you feel that you signed the papers, and if something bad happens to you, oh, well.
Well, that's a very interesting point, because about a month ago, there were some stories about some drugstores that I don't know. We just don't have the money to cover it correctly. If we had lots of money, we could actually drop a name and be indemnified, because we'd have a legal team behind us to go ahead and help us to be indemnified. But there were allegedly some pharmaceutical companies, maybe starting with a W, maybe the W word having like green trees in there. Anyway, so this particular drugstore was inadvertently giving some kids the jab. The vacation package, whatever you want to call it.
Okay.
And unknowingly doing this because they thought they were giving them flu vaccination. Flu vaccination, which they just kind of either didn't read the vial, or maybe the vial was mislabeled. Who knows? But by golly, I mean, when does enough become enough? How do you folks feel about that? Hit us up at 720-324-7278. That's our main message line.
And are you going to just fall in line and just run down there? Or whether your kids have asthma or diabetes, it doesn't matter. They're totally healthy. Like my mother, she said all she prayed for is that she had children that were born healthy, and a lot of all of us were born healthy, and she had one stillbirth. But she didn't. But she said she never prayed that after they're born something might happen. And so 6 years later, that is what happened. So you can't blame yourself. But if the government is putting down this gauntlet saying, if we destroy your life because of a mistake we made, we're not to be held accountable. And now we're seeing that in a lot of ways where government is just not held accountable for the evil things that it's doing to the American people. And like I said,
not for any of it.
Yeah, John 10:10, is the government there to kill, steal, and destroy, or what are they there for? And if they're killing, stealing, and destroying, just stealing your jobs, killing family members because they pass these, like Polis here in Colorado, he put out this law to let the prisoners out early without, and this one guy slipped out and he ended up killing a 21-year-old mother of 3 children. Now, he wasn't supposed to be let out, but they had this thing where they were letting everybody out, and he slipped through the tracks. But he was never, Michael Hancock, were never held accountable for that. But but there's 3 kids without a mother because of their policies.
Yeah, that's very interesting. Yeah, it's very interesting, and it's always sad. And the one thing that we have been conditioned to do as American society is to hear about these stories or see these stories look at them, and our hearts go out to these folks, and then we forget about them 5 seconds later. And I would encourage anybody and everybody to quit forgetting about this stuff.
Yeah.
To quit forgetting about the people left behind in Afghanistan, to quit forgetting about the fact that our most highly esteemed, illustrious president ensured that there would be billions of dollars of potential reverse engineering of our weapons because he left them behind. I mean, to forget about these things, to forget about the fact that, no, we're not going to do a vacation package. That would be anti-American to do. Then suddenly, let's do a vacation package. Okay, let's keep the kids out of it. No. Let's put the kids in there. When is enough enough, folks? When is enough going to be enough?
Yeah, and we just, I don't know, it just keeps going on and on. And well, I guess we're not in enough pain to say something about this and vote these people out. I think a lot of those people have been in there too long.
Yeah, entirely too long. No term limits, so no limit to their absolute power. And when you have absolute power, it corrupts absolutely. That's why Jesus Christ is the only way. I mean, I'll tell you, I mean, he's the only one that can handle absolute power and administer his judgments, for they are righteous and true.
Yeah. So I don't know, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, it's just it's very interesting what's going on in the society, and we have a chance this next, I guess, Tuesday, because it's going to be voting day on it's Tuesday. I got a chance to read through the people that are going to choosing for the board members, and I'm going to pick this lady that she was first on the list, and she's a homeschooler, and she doesn't believe in the CRT teaching in the schools, and so I went for her because nobody else in that list said anything about that in that list of 7 people. And so really find out about the people that you're voting for. Read their bio. And if there's any way of finding out any more about their lives, find out that. Don't wait until the last minute. I know life is busy, but and then find out what each of the amendments, if they're asking for more money, stop it. You know, it's like the government doesn't need any more money. It's like they have too much money, all right. And if they want to keep raising up the price of marijuana, keep taxing it, and then they say it's for the children, they're liars. They don't care about children. Anytime that you can pass a law that says that you can, like Governor Northam says that, oh, you can deliver the baby, then go to mother and ask the mother, should we kill the baby or should we let him live? And then once you say, oh, go ahead and kill him, cut the back of his head, dispose of him. I know in another country, the baby was delivered and it was a cold winter day. This is not in America. This is another country. And they just put the baby on the shelf and then let the mother listen to the baby expire. We don't want to be like that.
No.
Yeah. So yes, our voting has consequences. Wake up, conservatives, Republicans, wake up, because
wake up, everybody. Wake up, everybody. Doesn't matter who you are. Wake up and read the things, read the policies, and vote with your conscience, folks. I mean, not just this vote blue no matter who, or vote red until you're dead kind of thing. Vote your conscience. Vote the things that make you okay. And well, I don't even know what I'm trying to say here. There are things that are right in the eyes of God, and there are things that are just not right in the eyes of God. Doesn't matter what you believe, whether you believe in God or not. There are things that are right, and there are things that are not. Yeah.
All right, hey, we're gonna close the show out. We're at that time, and hey, we appreciate you being there. Don't forget to hit the share button, subscribe, and we really appreciate you. And then send some messages to that we can understand, because I think these other 3 people sent some kind of website. Just send us your website. respond to what we're talking about. And
Absolutely.
we thank you for joining us. So,
Thank you, folks. God bless you. And we'll